Okay, we've got everything set up. We've got our clock kit, which you should order one of these in if you're going to do your own clocks at home. The kits are not that expensive, and when you get 2 or 3 clocks that maybe you have a couple wall clocks and a grandfather clock, cuckoo clocks, you can literally do any of these. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do most of them. So as different clocks come into the store, I can run a quick video, and it'll show you how to take them out of the cases when it's a wall clock or a mantle clock. And cuckoo clocks are a little more difficult, but I think an average person could easily figure out how to do it, and I would show you the steps. So now this particular clock is a Hermel, and it's a 461050. And Hermel makes a lot of small size like this grandfather clock kits. Empire clock had a Hermels, and it might have had Empire on the plate, but it would still be a 460 or 451, and it would still be a Hermel clock. So most of them will all be done the same way when it's a Hermel. And first of all, what we're going to do now is we're going to get ready to clean this. And your applicator sticks that I have right here have a point on the back side of them. And all you're doing is you're not trying to pry the grease or the sludge out of your clock pivots. You just want to loosen it. So a pivot is going to be connected to a gear. So you can look at the side here and see your gears, and you can tell which ones are going to have oiling, be cleaned, and you'll also see dirt in them. I'm not sure you can see this, but let's see if we can scoot in here a little bit. Alright, right here, this one is really black, so you know that the oil has sludged up. And so all you do is take the point of your stick and just work around it. Just one time is all you need to do. And you'll see black on your stick. And then you can wipe it off on your towel. So let's start. We'll start with this one here. We'll start with this one. Let's do this big one back over here. So that's the 3 main gears down below here. So now let's work up. So I'm going to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so we're going to work up. So you go to 1. Whoops. There we go. There we go. Alright. We're going to move the verge out of the way. And this is your drive gears in the center. And we'll get over here. All we try to do is bust the old dried oil. And now here you can see, and this is okay. There's some crap on these gears, so I'm just cleaning them out of the gears. All right, now it's going to be difficult to get this one. You see, I can't. Okay, this is the gear that drives your hammers right here. And you can see I can't get underneath of it. Right here, you see it? So what we don't want to do is we don't want to change the gear position. So we can undo the screw here and we can lift the gear up, but we don't want it to go over this gear here. We don't want it to come past this gear. So you can only lift it up so far. You got to make sure, because if you pass that gear, you're going to have your timing off on your clock and you're going to have a mess on your hands. And I'm not sure I could explain how to fix that. So let's be careful and not let your drive gear here that drives your chimes, let's not let it slip off the hammer gear, which is right here. See as it drives it? You can see it right there as I'm pointing to it. So that's going to be one of the things we got to be careful with. Okay, now we got the back side pretty much done without the exception of that gear. So we'll do the fronts, and we'll go around. Okay, so let's do the fronts. All we're doing is just loosening up the old dirty oil. We're not trying to get it cleaned out of the pivots because you're not going to be able to do that. Now, you can, I don't know if you can see that, but man, there is just all kinds of dirt broke loose. Okay, now this is a cam right here, and you can get underneath of that. Alright, we can't take the center gear out of there, so we're going to leave it alone. And there's two cams. There's a cam here and a cam here. And we can clean underneath of those. I think we got them all. See this. All right. Okay, we've got all that grease pretty well loosened up. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to use this CRC cleaner, this contact cleaner, and we're going to get this good and wet. And we are going to start, since we're in the front, we'll just come right around here. Now these long stick applicators, they're Q-tips, they're wood with a long stem on those. These are the only way to go. Don't use little plastic ones, they just don't work. You can't push them hard enough and you need to get in there. Now I'm going to just show you, and I don't know that we can get a closer look at that or not. You should be able to see all the dirt and crap that's coming off of these gears. You wouldn't think you'd get that much, but it just cleans them so nicely, and that's what you want to do. You want to leave that dirt on your Q-tip, and then I'll show you what you do with this Q-tip, because you don't throw this away. This is another little thing, little trick you can do with it. So let's go back out here, and let's finish the front. Now it doesn't hurt to load your stick up a little more, because it does evaporate off of there. And I'm just basically sticking it right on the pivots. And there's one underneath here, so you got to be careful to try and make sure you get it. And I'm trying to find something to do it with. Aha! Okay. It's right here. And if we leave that, get her right there. That's about the only one there that we're gonna. Now we can come in here and rinse off the center wheel, which carries your hour and your minute. Okay, we got that one done. So Now we know that we've done the black back too, so let's go ahead. We'll load up the Q-tip again. I carry a little paper towel because I want these gears good and clean if I can get them there. Now I do this in the field too, about the same way. But I take off all the front pieces, the hour wheel, the minute wheels, and all the cams. But I know how to reset them. I recommend you don't mess with those. But this is getting your clock nice and clean. And it's not leaving any residue on your clock per se. Okay, now we can just give it a little wipe down. There's one right here. And that'll fix that one. Alright, that takes care of that. Now, behind the hammers, there are cams, and you just come in here and clean all that grease off. There's usually grease on these. And in your kits, we provide grease. And the grease is specially designed so that it doesn't corrode with the hammer, the brass. It doesn't affect plastic either, so it won't eat into plastic. Some gear greases will because they have detergents in them. None of this oil has a detergent. It's all manufactured and synthetically done so that there is no detergents in it. Otherwise, those detergents would be harsh on your gears and your plates. It would probably eat them. Turn green like DW40 does. 3-in-1 oils, none of these oils are any good for this, so stay away from those. Like I said, soy machine oils, they are not good for this. So now we got this side done, and I think the only thing I forgot to do was, no, I did get it. Okay, we got the front there. Alright, so basically our clock is cleaned. We're going to go up here on these hammers. We're going to clean that out here. And okay, you have to be really careful though. You can use your CR spray. Make sure that your clock's pointed out so that when you spray this, the spray does not hit the plates. But you can come in here and spray these hammers. Get the oil and the grease out of these. This is the only thing you can spray. Do not spray on your clock. Do not spray on into the pivots. Trust me, that's a bad thing to do. So you use these Q-tips, and you can see the amount of dirt I got off of that. And that will leave your clock clean enough so that you can re-oil it. So now we've got our hammers all cleaned up. We've got all of our pivots cleaned up, and we're ready to oil. So I guess the thing to do is go ahead and show you what a clock kit consists of. So let's set this aside. And the clock kit consists of a bunch of little things. Here's your can of grease. This is your oil cup, so you can pour a little bit of oil in the cup. Then you can either screw the lid back tight on the oil cup here and use the oil later if you haven't contaminated it. If you think it's contaminated, then dump it out, take a paper towel and clean out your little cup, and it'll be ready for the next time you want to oil a clock. And if you have several clocks at home, I know people who have 8, 10, 15 that they collect these clocks, and have always asked me how in the hell I clean them, and this is how you do it. And if they're not too far gone and the pivots and the bushings are all wore out, then you can do that. So this would be the clock oil that you would get with these. And then there's another oil. It's a small tube, and it's called ES1 escapement oil, and it's used only in the escape gear, which I'll show you in a little bit. So you get this as a clock kit. Then you also get some special made oilers. Let's see if we can. Okay, here's what you get. You get 3 swab cleaners, and then you get, these are applicators. This is to soak up too much oil. If you've over oiled your pivots, then you soak the oil up with these, and these are reusable. You just take the CR spray and clean these off, and you can probably use them 2 or 3 different times. And what they do is they soak up the oil. They have a little fiber on them, and so if you over oil your tubes, your pivots, this will soak up the oil on them. And then you have a greaser. This is designed to grease your hammers here and your cams, and I'll show you those in a minute. And then you have an oiler. Now these are delicate oilers that are long handled so that you can get into places inside the clock here. I don't like those little clock oilers that everybody tries to sell because they're just not good. I don't even like them for watches. But I do like these. And you have to be careful when you pull that out, because these oilers on the front of these are very, very sensitive, and they will bend or break. So if you drop it on the floor, chances are you're going to be ordering another insert from me. And I do sell the end. I'm laughing because I know how easy it is to break them. I broke several of them. And now these are actually glued in there with a, what do they call that stuff? That red stuff, I don't know. Lost my brain here. Loctite. These are glued in with Loctite. So if you break one of these off, you take your pair of pliers, like this here, and you just grab a hold of that and you twist that and it'll break loose. If it doesn't, you'll have to heat this a little bit with a cigarette lighter or something like that to get that heat to transfer in there, and then they'll pull right out. Then you could just use hot glue and glue them back in, and they'll stay for as long as you don't break them. So try not to break them. So we do carry inserts for them, so you can buy another insert if you break one. So it's not to worry. So now I have all of this stuff, so we'll put this back in the box. Let me get that cap. Always put your cap back on this very carefully and just snug it up there. And that's all you have to do. So there's your clock kit, and we carry, I think we have about 60 or 70 of them left before we'd have to reorder. But the oil takes a long time to get oil to buy it. It comes in 5-gallon cans, and it comes overseas, so it takes about anywhere from 3 to 8 weeks to get a new shipment. So we try to keep quite a bit of this on hand. This is really the best oil you can buy, and it works so well with these units. It really lubricates, and it leaves the oil in the oil wells in the clock, and it's just remarkable how it works. Okay, once you put oil in these wells, you want that oil to stay in the wells. If you get too much oil in there, capillary attraction will pull it out of there, and it'll drain out of the top onto your plate, and it'll pull all the oil out. If you get too much in there, it can also go on the inside and draw down the shaft. And the real lightweight, these older oils like this here, I don't use these. If they look like cooking oils, see how they're just like drinking water. Don't use these. Please use the right oil. Now I have oil in my own little cup right here, so we won't use a kit. Those kits are kind of expensive, and we'll put this back now. So I was gonna explain this to you. Now, these applicators are really cool because they're really compact. These the cotton is on the edges of these. So these really, one of them will clean the clock. And then on the back side of these, I put a point on them like a toothpick. And when you're done with these applicators, well, you can only use one of these once per clock. Then you come up here and you take your pair of, you can use a pair of scissors or a pair of little dikes. I have some big ones here. You just come in here and you come in there and you clip that off. Alright, and if you have a little buffing, little grinding bench grinder in your garage or something like that, you can grind a point on the other side of that. So now you've got sticks that you can use for just cleaning out the grooves in your clocks. And you'll end up with 6 of them, and then you'll have to order some new cotton swabs. Don't use the little plastic Q-tips. They don't work. These you can apply a lot of pressure to, and you can clean out that oil in your pivots far better. And like I said, I think what I'm going to try and do is maybe offer a package of 10. If you don't want to buy, you can buy these on the internet too, by the way. They're $9-10. But I was thinking maybe we'll just go ahead and sell them too. That way you can buy everything from one place. So there's your clock kit, and there's your greases and your oils, and I'll put that away later. So there's your little clip there, and there's your little micro applicators right here. These are used to, if you over oil it, you just run this in here and that'll clean that oil out of there. And then you can clean these off with the spray. So I might have that. Perfect. Look at that. Cleans them right off. And then soak your oil back out of there. These are neat. Those little applicators. Now these come with the kits. And these all go back in the envelope. Alright. Now, okay, video 3 we'll move on. Talks about the clock kit, the oilers, and the applicators, and the Q-tips. So it takes you all the way through the cleaning, and the video ends up at right around 20 minutes. So video 4, which is the next one we're going to do, is going to take you through the oiling, and video 5 will take you through the setup and putting it back in your case and adjusting your chime hammers. So bear with me, and we'll get through these, and we'll be able to thoroughly clean this clock with expert quality. So thanks for being patient.